Okay, let's get into it. This is episode 208, monster episode today. I'll be working through a sketch I've been working on in the past. I'd say I started this about 2 days ago for Ghetto Blaster featuring DJ Heather. Track is called Get Acid. So we're going to walk through where the sketch is right now. I'm going to share with you the different pieces of kit I use. The Sub 37 is prominently featured, and you'll hear that soon. I think I got into, no, I haven't got into the System 8 yet. I believe I went back to the Moog to do a lead sound, which you'll hear shortly. So, a number of cool things with this. So happy Paul from Ghetto Blasters trusted me with this remix, and I'm excited to share it. Gets me out of my 126 BPM funky zone and get into something slightly harder, but with some soulful edge to it, if you know what I mean. All right, so let's have a look at the project. Let's move over to my screen. Um, yeah, why don't we just press play? You get a listen. Sticking with the acid theme, so you can see I've done a number of things to this. I love playing around with the noise filter. So as you can hear, a number of things going on. This is the Moog from the Moog. So, I mean, I started out with this. I love the Sub 37, man. The sounds you get out of it, and it's hidden, but I'll show it now. These are the MIDI notes. Actually, let me get my screen, my picture-in-picture out of the way. But here's the MIDI notes that I used. And what I usually do, if you are familiar with my masterclass, I'll let the Moog, and actually the, can't see it there. Maybe you can see it behind me here. Yeah, there it is. The Matrix Brute back there. I'll let that stuff along with, maybe I'll move my cam here. If you're new to the program, I'll move my cam here just so you can see on the action cam. This bad boy right here, the Arturia, what's it called? The Mini Brute. Almost forgot there. But you can see that right there. Mini Brute. I let all these analog machines warm up at least an hour to 2 hours before I get into anything in here in the studio. Just sounds better, man. And I can't show you the shot now because it's tucked way in the corner over here behind the action cam right here. But it's I have a preamp by Art. It's a microphone preamp, but I got that Arturia Mini Brute running. This guy here down there running through that preamp, and it all just sounds good combined with the UAD preamps as well. It just sounds massive, as you can hear. So yeah, I'll record these MIDI notes. I'll record these MIDI notes here, spotlight it, and then what I'll do is I'll just do a series of clips, which you can see here, capturing the audio coming off these MIDI pieces, and then I'll slice them up, take the best parts, like here. I'm going to use this later in the arrangement. Crazy, right? And there's some variation here. That's why I got them all colored. But for the purpose of the sketch, let me just hide these MIDI notes again. I'm just going to loop through this and just get the sketch to a place that I feel comfortable it's ready to be arranged. Oh, the other thing I should share, I rarely do this, but I actually got 2 kicks going on this project. So this is the original kick from the remix. and then I overlaid this one for whatever reason. I like the clarity in the kick from the original track, but I love the sub coming from this. I haven't done this in so long. I normally just want to get one great kick and rock with it, but it's cool. And for those of you who are wondering which kick did I use to sub or sidechain other instruments, it's this kick here. More the subby one. The attack one will always get through because it's, this one is ducking the stuff, and it'll just follow the stuff. I also love the original kick because it's got these fillers in here. Let's see. I think there's one right here based on what I can see right there. Yeah. I've used this beat break before. And of course, Heather's vocal. It's dope. And I did speed this up a bit. The original BPM is 128. I went for 130 just to, punch it up a bit, get some variation. I just dropped it in the project, time stretched the stems, and it's worked out well. So, the other thing I kept from the original is this clav. I'm going to keep that. This is a nice way to start this remix. And I do think artists appreciate when you're remixing their song, elements that they can attach themselves to that they know are from the original. Again, something I rarely do because I just like to do a whole do-over on the track. It is fucking hot here in Chicago today. And with all of the lighting and stuff, I definitely needed that water. And the AC is booming too, so grateful for that. Anyway, getting off topic here. All right, so let's get into this. Let's give this another quick listen. Trying to determine what else I think I need. So as I listen to this, I'm thinking I'm gonna try for a 909 or 808 snare. I like those types of snares for these types of tunes because they just cut through nicely. It also lets me, sort of tie in like a jacking sort of feel without going completely jacked on it. So let's see what we can find here. I'm gonna just turn my low latency on. Let me move my PIP out of the way. Let's find a snare. Okay, so this is my typical, I like to call it the Earl Young snare. If you're not familiar with Earl Young, look him up. Dope ass drummer from back in the 70s. All of his shit sounds like that. Some dope shit. Anyway, analog. Sorry, drums. Going for analog. Snare. I don't know why more people don't use the machine stuff. So this is the snare I was hearing in my head. So it is the 808. I love the snare, man. It's just, sometimes it sounds like it doesn't have enough body to it, but it can EQ that. Yeah, I like that. Let's try something here. I'm gonna set up the action cam. I'm gonna get you guys back on the thing I was telling you about. Those stuff, man. It makes a huge difference. Here we are. So, yeah. gonna fuck with that. Let's let's program that in. All right. So uh okay. So we got that locked in. Show you my screen. This is the snare pattern I just recorded. Let's take that off. I love this action cam, man. You guys can see exactly what's cracking. Let's go back to the screen. Seeing a double of me. Don't want that. Okay, so here's the snare I programmed. So I think I've mentioned this several times. I don't get crazy with the quantize. I like my stuff to swing, man. Um, so the only things I really make sure are closer to the grid are the 2 and 4th beats. So it'll make it sound tighter. So let's do that. Quantize. Like literally, we're gonna quantize. I'm gonna hold shift and quantize on machine here. Just brings it right on to 2 and 4. Everything else I leave. And I mean, on occasion, like I'm looking at these notes here after the 3, the 1 and yeah. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna quantize this by 50%. Just, so we're not going completely on the grid, but it should sound a bit tighter. This one is quite loose, so let's do that. The beauty of doing it like this is we can undo it and just compare and listen. So let's do that. All right, I'm gonna undo all that. All right, let's redo it. Sounds a bit tighter to me. I like it. I'm gonna move this note over. Might sound a bit rushed, but let's see. Yeah, that first one sounds like it comes in a little too early. So let's undo it. Pay attention right here. And let's go with 50% quantize on that. So it's just closer to the note, not completely on it, but closer. And now that I'm doing this, I'm going to do something I haven't done in a while. I first heard this technique from Derek Carter. It's where you have the closed hat do a tuplet thing, like it just rolls very quickly. So I'm going to change the signature to 32 tuplets here. I'm going to find the 808 close hat. And it should, if I get on the, let's go back to the action cam here. So if I go on the, where is it, man? Shows you here, the note repeat right here. If you use machine, note repeat. And here's the, so we got that. And that's like 1/16. What I'm talking about is that's that Derek Carter shit. I'm going to drop that like at the end of these 2 bars, and from an arrangement perspective, I'll bring it in every once in a while. And then I just think ongoing, I am gonna have that 1/8 sort of, that jack and swing close hat thing going on. So I'm actually gonna do two instances just so I know where I'm at in the arrangement. So I got it on 3 and 4. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So over here, I got a closed hat 808 on 3 and 4 now from machine. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna record the tuplet on one lane. I'm gonna do it on the third one, and on the fourth lane, I'm gonna do the 1/8 jack and snare. But let's record that straight away. All right, let's do it. Make sure we're recording. And it's perfect that sort of, you probably heard the change in the bass line or the acid line where it seemed to elongate and go a little crazy. That's precisely when I want this crazy close hat thing to come in. And I love it because you can hear there's a difference in the velocity. As you can see down here, almost appears to be ramping up, which is cool. It's exactly what I want. So I'm gonna mute that for now. Let's record the 1/8, and then I'm gonna swing the hell out of it. Let's move it to, there we go. So let's record that. Now you probably notice this technique of me moving my hand up and down a little. I'm trying to get a little sensitivity and variation in the velocity of that close hat. These little things absolutely matter when you're programming drums. That's the soulful feel that a lot of these, records are missing today. So I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So this is the 1/8 notes we just recorded. Let's spotlight that for you. You can see the change in the velocity. That's 101. This is 97. This is 97, 95. All these little things matter. And now what I'm going to do with that is swing the hell out of it. So what you do, if you got machine, I'm going to show you the action cam here. You hold the note that you want to swing dramatically, which is this fourth piece here, the fourth pad. And what you're going to do is hold that, and then there's a button up here. You can't really, let me just move the camera a little bit so you see what I'm talking about. Right up here, it's called swing position. It's actually highlighted, it's lit up. You just hit that, hold the note, and I'm just going to turn the dial right up to like 40+%. You'll know you're affecting the right thing if this one isn't moving, right? Which it hasn't. It's still, that 45%. I'll zoom in there. That's 0. If you just move the knob while you have the swing thing highlighted, you'll see this moving, right? Which is not what I wanted. I just want to affect, because that will affect the swing for the entire, program beats you got programmed here. Now I just wanted to affect this, the fourth note. So let's listen to it. Yes. I like that. Let's see if you can hear the difference. I'm going to move the swing down. Now there's no swing. I'm going to put it back up to where I had it. That 50% swing, man. and you could, at least to my ears, you can hear, how, because of how high the swing is, certain notes, the velocity hits a little harder. So let's make sure we're EQing all of these appropriately. As you know, I like to mix as I go along while I'm doing these things. So I think the first thing, let's get the low latency off. Let's save. And let's deal with the snare that we programmed. So the first thing I want to do, I want to make sure it's gain staged appropriately. So our snare is on pad 6. Did I pass it? Yeah, there it is. 32. Want it down to minus 6 dB. This is the sweet spot right here. The essence of the snare is in these two notes. Or frequencies, rather. Notes, frequencies, it's all the same shit. Let's do pad 4 while we're here. The only reason why it's this loud is because I've maximized the instrument in machine, right? And it's important to do that. Get the maximum loudness out of the VST. So when you gain stage, you're gain staging appropriately in terms of the maximum volume coming out of the VST itself. Not to clip, but you know what I'm saying. You're getting the most volume out of it. It's how we did it back in the days, like with the ASR 10, even with these pieces of kit here, like the sub 37. All of these are the volumes totally turned up, so you're getting a full, rich signal coming through, and then you can gauge stage appropriately. Not clipping, just a rich signal that you can start EQing fucking shit on. Okay, let's go back to the screen. See me there. All right, so I think the next thing is that snare is going through the drum bus. I'm gonna take it out for now. I'm gonna distort it a bit, my bit crusher. I'm gonna go 3.5 dB. 12-bit, this is important. Anything lower than 12-bit, you hear those weird ring-like artifacts, and 12-bit works for me because I'm trying to mimic the old machines. I mean, I think this bit crusher is really underrated. What comes out of Logic, it's dope, man. Like, I like it. Nasty, man. Just sounds dope. Okay. Let's get our trusty old friend, the Pultec, on this shit. Pultec, where you at? I think I know by now. Find this. I really do need to set up those EQ groups, but I'm afraid I will lose the opportunity to stumble on something cool and new, so that's why I don't do it. Anyways, let's go to the snare. I like to start with the factory preset, so let's go with the punch, see how it sounds. Let's try presence. Punch is better. I like punch. Let's take this down a little. Sounds dope to me. I like that. Now remember, the Pultec EQ tends to run hot, so it's important to make sure you've gain staged it back down appropriately. So let's open up console 1 here. Pad 6 is where the snare is. But you can see it's running a bit hot there, right? Above our target of minus 6 dB. Just bring it down. And now, I can confidently manage the headroom of this instrument. Let's give it a little parallel EQ or parallel compression punch with our snare bus. We're sending it to the snare bus. Gives it a bit more bottom, right? Let's A-B it. Let's shut off the snare bus. Turn it back on in a bit. Right here. Don't hear too much difference, but I'm going to leave it because this is never... Why is this disabled? That's why we don't hear a difference. Oh, man. Okay. So lately, I had to figure out what's going on with UAD, man. It'll just disable certain plugins. And this one, I'm pretty sure I purchased. So I find myself having to reauthorize plugins. So let's see if this shit works. And there we go. Let me move this. Let me move my camera out of the way. This is what I was talking about. I had to go in and authorize it again. Oh, what the fuck? Where's the DBX? This is highly annoying. Okay. I think I'm going to have to restart this, which is fine. You can look at me for a bit here. I don't know why it does that. It's so annoying. I think it's an Apple thing. So with the magic of editing, I'll make sure I spare you the wait on this one. Okay, we are back. This should be working. Let's go to our snare bus. How annoying. Okay, so you can see it doesn't shows disabled anymore, but man, come on. And of course, I need to re-engage. So there we go. So you can hear the difference slightly. I think while I'm here, I'm just going to get rid of any bottom stuff that I don't need in that sound. It's Fat Filter Pro Q4. I love this EQ, by the way. Like I said, these two notes here, I know these are the vitally important ones. But like our good old friend Daniel Dubb said, you should be able to get away with shaving out 100 to 150, hertz of that low frequency in your snares. And I do this habitually all the time now. And for bassy sounds or songs, anything that doesn't really need to be in this area, this low frequency area, I'll try and go as aggressive as possible with the slope of that low cut, just in attempts to create more room for the kick in this sound to just roll through, because I want that acid sound to roll the fuck on through. when this is being smashed in a club. So, all right. So we got our snare in. Let me just double check the gain stage on that. I think we got to go. Yeah, there we go. Now, if you're wondering why you're seeing low frequency information in there and I haven't done anything, it's just because the console one is the first thing that hits next to the distortion in that processing chain here for the snare. So I'm not going to shave out the low end there. I want to get it down here at the very end where, the signal post-processing, right? So that's why that looks the way it does, in case you're wondering. What am I doing? No, that's fine. Okay, let me save that. Let's go over to the close hat situation. That was running hot when checked, yeah. So let's gain stage that back down. On a close hat, I'm not too concerned based on what I see here. I'll just low cut right here. All this stuff just needs to go. And I'm comfortable to do it at a console one level because there's not much processing this will need. I'll cut it a bit more. There, I like it there. I want to hear that against these. Just to make sure it sounds balanced. Gain stage that. Motherfucker. Open hats. Yeah. I'm going to boost the gain stage on that. Because I just want it all to sound as one. It does sound pretty balanced there. It's interesting. I'll check the EQ here. It's interesting. The console one adds coloring to the signal. I think it's mainly because I threw the distortion on that allowed us to shave out a bit more in the bottom end on that close hat. So because we have the tuplet thing going on pad 3 with the close hat, I do want to make sure the processing is the same. So that's why I've cloned the Pro Q4 EQs right here between the two of them. They both got distortion. So just make sure I didn't pump that one any higher. It's the same. So the only thing to check on the third one, the close hat that's on the third pad here, I'll unmute it now. It's just to hear, or the gain stage rather. Should hear. Unless I muted it, we should be hearing that. Oh, it's solo, that's why. There we go. Quite a bit of low-end information in there. I could hear it. That's probably because we haven't shaved out the low-frequency stuff here at the top end with console 1, and also gain stage it down. So let's gain stage it to minus 6 dB there. Perfect. And let's cut this. There we go. There we go. It's that Derek Carter-esque vibe. Remember, this is all going through the drum bus too. See if there's any low-end shit in there. That's crazy. So this is coming from the distortion of the drum bus, which I will route to the tops bus depending on depending on what other drumming instruments I put in that. Maybe the clave, percussion, I'm not sure. So let's see how this all comes together. I like it. So we won't have the third and fourth pads going from machine with that close hat stuff at the same time when it comes to the arrangement. I really want the third one to stand out on its own, but that's an arrangement thing we can take care of later. So for now, let's just roll with the... I like that shit. So this is the Ghetto Blaster kick on its own. I'm very interested to see. Let's see how it sounds once we add my addition. So just to experiment. It really just punches it up. It's crazy. Right here. So funny, man. And I think when you have two kicks like this, you definitely don't want them competing too much. So what I'm just realizing, I don't think I've made this decision yet, but we need to make it now, is one of these kicks need to have the attack boosted just enough where it kind of feels like it's the lead. I'm thinking the Ghetto Blaster kick has enough attack to it, but let's look at it here. Let's add a little attack. And adding attack is this. All it is like 2 dB of a low frequency. It's this thing here. I just added that little bump. That's what I added, and I'm just gonna move it over to the moved over to, like, let me try 60 hertz. So let's see how it sounds against the kick I've added. Okay, so yeah, I think this is gonna work out well from an arrangement perspective. So we can come back to all of that, but I like how that sounds just with the beats. All right, let's see if we can find. I still sort of feel like something's missing, but I'm just not sure. So let's go into our arsenal of beat breaks. Actually, I'm going to try this. I've never done this search prompt before in Loop Cloud. Let's call it Techno Top Loops. Let's just see what the store offers us. That's too much. Something's really grabbing me right now. definitely think it needs a ride at some point. We don't need that. None of these are hitting me. Alright, none of these are really... None of these are really hitting off right. And when you have these moments, it sort of tells you you're on the right track with what you got. So, what I'm going to do now, just to make sure I feel comfortable, I'm going to check the remix folder or see what other instruments it got in here. So you can see it's pretty simple, right? Like it's nothing crazy. Show you my screen here, but this is what we got. Hats and claps, a thump, which I tried out earlier, I didn't really like. So I think I'm gonna go for the toms and the hats and claps. But let's start with the hats and claps. And the reason why I'm hesitant with the toms, that sounds about right. The reason why I'm hesitant with the toms is because toms tend to be a lower frequency percussion, and there's already the bass line or the acid line is quite percussive in a sense. So let's try these toms out. Sorry, the hats and claps. So I'm gonna add that. I thought I had that in here already, but no. All right. So we could see the stem here. It looks different because this is at 128 BPM and this one is at 130. I time stretched it. So with Logic, you just hold Option, drag it over, line it up with the other stems, and you'll get it at the desired BPM that you want. So that should take a little minute. And let's listen, let's just see how it sounds. Loop Cloud is playing some shit. Interesting. That might be a little happy accident. Let's lower the Loop Cloud thing. Yeah, I think it's better without the Loop Cloud thing. I don't know. Let's check out. So let's gain stage this. the claps and hats here. I'm actually gonna do some transient shaping here. Punch it up a bit. I like that. Like if we let's listen to this with the transient shaper off. Turn it back on. I like it, man. Let's see how it sounds in the body of the beat. So we're going to keep those hats and claps that I've manipulated a bit with the transient punch. Let's see if it's got stereo information. It does. So it has stereo information. I just flipped it from mono. Let's keep it there for a second. Dope. And I don't know if you caught it, but I like the sound that we found here. But I'm going to use it almost like a crash. So let's just put that in there. I just want this. You just stop right after that. I'm going to color it red so I know it's like a thing I just want to throw on the one on occasion. But I like that. It's just a subtle little percussive thing that's going on that we could keep. I'm just going to search for ride. While we're doing that, we'll come back to this, but cool. Let's gain stage that sound while we're here. Interesting. So I'm not gonna shave out too much of the low end because that's part of the essence of that sound, but I will side chain it, and I'm going to do that now before I forget. We'll come back to Loop Cloud in a minute. What is this? Oh yeah, so I'm going to use the side chain we're using on the Moog off of the subby kick I've added, but I like how that sounds. So let's continue on. Let's rock it in stereo for a bit while we're here. The other reason why, I'll let you in on a little secret. The other reason why I like using stems from the original project is it makes the arrangement even easier to do. Now, I sound pretty lazy, right? But I'm just being honest. You could see what's going on here. This looks like a little breakdown right there, right? You could see it because this is the kick from the original, right? Here is the snare, which is dope. So I'm just gonna work around that when I'm ready to arrange this. So it's cool like that. And it also gives me a view as to when I can add like this Moog sound. Like this looks like a break. Actually, the break looks like it's here, bar 57. So I can put this in there. I could chop it, say, oh man, it's not long enough, so let's elongate it. So I could take these original stems and chop it here, push it out to give space for this Moog sound. See, it works like a charm. And back to the... Oh, shit. See, it worked like a charm, you know? And as I said before, the original artist, in this case, Ghetto Blaster and DJ Heather, will be quite happy with that because they can anticipate certain things in the track, but it's got my own little spin on it. And that just adds a whole other degree of flavor on it. So you know what, man? Let's find this ride hat and get out of here. So we're gonna let the beat roll. 1 second. Sure, I got loop cloud up. All right, let's let the beat roll and trial these ride cymbals. This looks fat. I like this one. I'll buy it, but I'll come back to it maybe for another project. Oh, I like that too. I like how that... No. Why is it giving me calm? Let's listen to this whole loop. That's weird. That's all right. Let's see. Let's go with this one. All right, let's drag it in here. Yeah. All right, let's EQ that. I will cut this area here, this like 500 to 1,000 hertz. And I'm doing that intentionally because should I decide that I want the ride to play while the vocal is happening, I can anticipate, I've carved out enough room for Heather's vocal while the ride is playing. And you need to do that, especially for female vocal, like between 5 and 1,000 hertz. So I just want to see what it sounds like based on how deep I go with this cut. A little bit of resonance here. Cut it a bit more. Okay, I think we could get away with it right there. I think I'm good to go. I got all the instruments I need to arrange this track. I feel very comfortable I could get this thing done. We spent about an hour just adding other elements just to make sure I feel like I got everything good to go in here. So, I mean, we got a little bit of time. And like I said, I think this arrangement's going to be super easy because I'm going to let the stems cue me in terms of how I should go about arranging this thing. So we got machine up here. What I'm going to do is move my window down here. Let me just get rid of that. This window's so huge, man. Can't even minimize it. Anyway, what I'm going to do is select this pattern piece here. These lines indicate a pattern. This indicates you can actually drag and drop the audio from whatever you programmed here. But I like the flexibility offered to me by just dropping the MIDI notes. So I'm going to take this, drag and drop it right there. And for those of you who are interested in learning how to program your machine VST into your DAW, check out my video on YouTube. I mean, it's got a lot of views. A lot of people appreciated that video. Like, once you get this set up in a template, you're done. You're good to go. All right, so next thing I do, now that I dragged all the notes over, and I could see the notes have been dragged over appropriately because you can see the information in here. If I zoom in, let me just move this window out of the way. If I zoom in here, you could see that's the triplet close hat thing we did, the Derek Carter technique. This is the swinging close hat, and this is the snare, the jacked out techie 808 snare, so to speak. I could tell all of that's there for two reasons. One, anything that wasn't programmed will just show the kit that's currently in machine, which is the Abalor kit right here. You could see it. The other thing is that it will be blank. You could see the snare 808 has like these dashes showing what was programmed, whereas all the other ones are blank. There's nothing in there. So it's I can delete things with confidence here quite easily. And now I can go into machine. I've highlighted all these instruments, and I'm just going to cut them. I'm just going to take them out. Let's close that out. And here are, and I love how it did this. It put the tuplet thing right at the end of the two bars that we programmed. I'll unmute it just to make sure we can hear it. You can hear it. It's going along. Okay. So we have those in there. Now's probably a good time for me to name each of these tracks, stems. So I'm going to call this Vox. That's where the vocal is. This is Clave. This is a beat break. This is I'm going to call it OG kick. This is my kick. This is the main loop. I'll just call it the Moog. Oh, we got a shaker here. Dope. Clap. Oh, fucking hats. No. Don't record. All right. I'm going to call this the OG snare. These snare fills are dope too. After we name these, I'm going to check and see if they need any processing. OG hats and claps. We'll check for processing and gain staging on these two as well. All right, so let's check the snare first off the bat. Again, these are all the advantages of mixing as I go along, and I do have that course. It's available to check out. If you want to augment your subscription for 1 month, you can check it out. It's like $70, and I might have like a promo code. I'm not sure. I have to check in with my guys, but it's there and it's available. And this is the advantages of mixing as you go along, because when I'm ready to arrange, I know all of this stuff is set, and I just need to do minimal tweaks. So I want to check the gain stage on this OG snare. So we're just going to have that loop. There's the OG snare. We're going to turn it up a bit. I'm going to punch it up with the transient. Don't like how that sounded. Gain stage it down. Let's check it in Pro Q4. Oh, it's ramping up the volume thing. But we don't need this. See, like this 100 hertz. We don't need that. All right. Let's fuck that snare up with our snare bus. Let's punch it up. Let's see what it sounds like. Let's solo it out. Okay, I like how it sounds. Really have to hit it hard on the snare bus though. This is gonna be nasty. All right, let's check the gain stage on the clave. There it is. Quite low. We don't need this. So the only thing about the clave is you really gotta watch the you see that peaking. It's not really resonance necessarily. It's just how hard that frequency is hitting there. So I like it. You know, we've got a gain stage appropriately. Let's check the fader of this. And that's another thing you got to watch. So you see this was at -3, but my target headroom is -6. Once you've gain staged it appropriately, just bring it down. Just so it balances out with all the other sounds. This one too, the OG claps. I'm pretty sure we gain stage that. Hats and claps. So it's a little hot. So let's bring that down. I mean, I like it, but I'm gonna throw articulate on that. See how it sounds. Wow. Articulate is just so good with the transients, man. So I'm gonna leave that there, but it's all level set. And the snare we've done already. Yeah. So let's go back to this Pro Q4. Just gonna put a little dynamic EQ on that one frequency that I think it's out in this area here. So let's see. There it is. Bring it down a little. It's only like 3 dB, so I'm not too concerned, but we're gonna make it dynamic. So every time it hits, it's just gonna get pulled down a little. You don't want this, where it's just hitting you right in the middle. Just pull it down a little bit. Nothing too crazy. All right. Let's check this. And I think with that, I will send that to the tops bus when we're ready to finalize the mix down for this. Okay, so I think we're good. So the next thing we just do is highlight all of the stems and the tracks, the clips, and name the regions by the track. And there we go. We know exactly what it is. And I think I might finish the arrangement of this later today. I'm not sure. I am going to take a break, give my ears a break on this one, but that's the sketch of this beat. Super dope. Shouts to Ghetto Blaster for trusting me on this one. So anyways, dig in. This was episode 208. Let me know what you think. Any questions or comments are encouraged. Much love and respect. Peace.